The Treaty of Constantinople was signed in October 1699. It was a peace treaty between the Ottoman Empire and the Habsburg monarchy. The treaty was signed in Constantinople, the capital of the Ottoman Empire. It was the first treaty between these two powers. The treaty included an exchange of prisoners of war, an end to hostilities, and the establishment of a demilitarized zone along the border between the two countries. The treaty stated that all military activities would cease in the areas along both sides of the border. It also established Turkish control over parts of the Balkans, Moldavia, and Wallachia. In addition, the treaty required that the peaceful commercial intercourse between the countries would be maintained. The treaty also included that the Ottoman Empire would recognize the sovereignty of the Habsburg monarchy over Hungary, Transylvania, and parts of Croatia. The Treaty of Constantinople also established the freedom of the seas throughout the Mediterranean. This treaty was one of the most significant treaties of the time, allowing both sides to move forward peacefully from a long-standing conflict. After the signing of the treaty, the two sides returned to their respective countries and the treaty was signed in Vienna on October 20, 1699. The Treaty of Constantinople was negotiated by two representatives of each side, Johann Paul Freiherr von Hohenberg from the Habsburg monarchy, and Hussein Pasha from the Ottoman Empire. The negotiations led to the crafting of the treaty, which was detailed with more than 50 articles. The articles outlined provisions for the peaceful coexistence between the two countries, including the removal of Ottoman troops from Transylvania and the Habsburg monarchy's recognition of Turkish sovereignty over many lands. It also declared that the free navigation of the Danube was to be allowed for all countries, regardless of their faith. Moreover, new customs regulations were established to increase the trade between the two countries. This treaty thus allowed both the Ottoman Empire and the Habsburg monarchy to benefit from rekindled trade relations and a reduction in military tensions. The Treaty of Constantinople paved the way for a period of peace and prosperity for the two nations and enabled them to return to their respective territories without fear of renewed conflict. This treaty formed the basis of the peaceful relationship that the two countries have enjoyed since. Although this was not a formal peace agreement, and in fact very few of its provisions were enforced, it set the stage for more cordial relations between the two countries. The treaty allowed a period of peace to take hold, and provided an opportunity for both countries to improve their economies and create closer ties. This also resulted in an increased level of trade, which had a positive effect on the economies of both nations. The Treaty of Constantinople was the first real step towards peace between the two powers, and set the stage for subsequent treaties and agreements. It was also important in setting the stage for diplomatic and economic ties that have been maintained over the centuries. The Treaty of Constantinople was an essential step in establishing a strong and lasting peace between the two nations, and was a major contributor to the improved relations and development of both countries. Although it was not a formal peace treaty, it was an important step for both countries in maintaining peace and stability between them.